We get told we need to do the best marketing hacks. We just need to have this one strategy and then we're magically selling our stuff. There are so many strategies on the internet, and even if you're around YouTube for a while, you'll see that there's so much in marketing. We need to optimize this, we need to optimize that, we need to know this trick, that hack, and overall, this is the customer journey. But what if it comes down to these three numbers? What if we could simplify this whole customer journey to make it doable for us as solopreneurs? Can we break this down? Could it be that easy? I'm not going to give you another hack. I will keep it specific and I will tell you what matters and what doesn't. And yeah, let's dive right in because that's the best way we can do. So these numbers we'll come back to. For the beginning, we need to look at the traditional customer journey, the sales process. So traditionally, it was that customer X meets a salesperson Y. So I'm trying to sell my own stuff. So I'm here. I'm trying to sell now my stuff to the customers over here. They have a problem they don't like, so they're unhappy. So I need to do the whole work. So the first thing is the first interaction, which is the stimulus. So we need to first get our customers to figure out the problem. We need to tell them why they need it and so on, and then give them the hard ask of the sale, which is the second step. The sale. And that's the stuff that most solopreneurs dread because we're just not good at it. We love building our stuff and we love helping customers. But when it comes to this part here, we kind of struggle. At least I do. And so then the third part of it all is the experience. Because then actual customers will go out and will have fun or will experience and have the change of what their problem was in the beginning to now being happy customers. So the question is, how do we actually get there? And the internet has changed many things, and Google has done a study, and they figured out that here is actually a step in between they called ZMOT. That's the zero moment of truth. So while it used to be that we were here trying to do the salesman, trying to go here and actively seek out our customers, what happened in the internet world is now the customers actually have a problem, so they go searching themselves. So they actually go and search for their own problem, solutions. And that's quite interesting because on the one hand, it empowered customers to not be reliant on the salesperson, because the salesperson, you can always judge, do they really have the best of interest from me, or do they just want to sell me the stuff? And that's kind of also the difficulty with sales, that we are always stuck in between, we need to make the money, so we need to ask for the sale, but we're also trying to help the customer. And so this thing is a balance to be found. And it's interesting because if we help the customers get happy by letting them do the groundwork and not actually trying to sell them everything in a hard sales process, they are more happy. The next thing that happened is with the internet, they actually went out and did the research. So they went on Google, they went on YouTube, they went on, looked online, and even Instagram, they scrolled through and were like, oh yeah, I understand that. I have the same problem. So I wonder if that works for me. And then they go start and research. And that's, if we're honest, how we actually do most of our sales today is, if we want to buy something, we go out and Google it and then find a review, find someone that talked about it, find someone that we can trust, that we can actually find the product good and helpful, and believe that it will help us deal with our problem. And so the interesting thing is that the ZMOT is right here in between the sales process. So now the question is, what does that have to do with the 7, 11, and 4? So let's dive in. I'll quickly wipe that down because that we don't need. So 7, 11, 4, meaning 7 hours, that's time spent, 7 interactions. So we have 7 different points that we meet with the customer. And then 4, meaning 4 platforms or places. So the interesting thing is with the 7, 11, 4 is that is something that Google figured out on their research to figure out what ZMOT was. So the zero moment of truth. This is the breakdown of the ZMOT. How it works. So on average, a potential customer is spending about 7 hours researching a product and spending about 7 hours of getting to know people before they actually make a purchasing decision. Why does that matter? Because it means if we try to sell people, ideally we have them spend 7 hours with us. So the question is, do you have 7 hours worth of content? This is where content marketing comes in. Content can be videos. Now I know. Now I'm still in the video. It can be a newsletter, an email that we can send out. It doesn't matter. Can we get to 7 hours worth of content on our YouTube channel, on our Instagram page? And that's where you start seeing how that might affect the way you think about your funnel, the way you think about your content platforms, about your content strategy, and how you actually need to make room so you can actually have the 7 hours. So now you're saying like, oh, I don't have the 7 hours of content. Then I'm like, well, then you don't you shouldn't be surprised that you're not getting the best results yet, because you don't have enough hours, enough content, so people can build trust with you. So let's understand the 11 interactions a bit more. 11 interactions means people, in general, that's what Google figured out, is if people want to buy a knife or pens, I mean, the pens weren't that much that expensive either, but if I want to find a new laptop or something like that, which is more expensive, so the higher it gets, the more interactions we'll have, the more touch points we'll have. But what Google has found is that on average, across the 7 hours, people have 11 interactions and touch points through different places. And so they go on Google and search for the best iPhone. Or I want to buy an iPhone. What should I pay attention to when buying an iPhone? And so all those questions, and then you'll go get on a blog, you'll get on a video, and then you have overall 7 different touch points throughout the customer journey, throughout the 7 hours of research. So what does that have to do with the last bit of the 4 platforms? The 4 platforms, meaning you have a YouTube account, you have Instagram, you have an email, and you have a website. Meaning you have 4 different types of media and platforms that you're playing with. If you have a physical store and you're like, oh, people are not maybe buying enough, that may be because you could start with an Instagram channel to promote your store and get people already interacting with you on Instagram, getting touch points in, getting hours of trust in, that you can then leverage later on. And so for us solopreneurs, the interesting lesson underneath all of this is that we need to have multiple channels. We need to start building a brand awareness And we need to actually get to do like community building. This is what it actually means. 7 hours of content is something, if somebody spends 7 hours with me, I better have something to talk about and I better talk with him. And so this is why I think it's so important that we understand the 7-11-4 into our business and plan that in from the beginning, because sure, there are tricks, there are hacks, there are skills that make it faster, that can speed up some things where it might be not as many hours needed. That's true, but 7 hours worth of content is like a goal that we can strive for. Because the interesting thing is, this here gives us input orientations. It's not like we need one sale. It means build content for 7 hours of watch time. Build content to have at least 11 interactions. Because if we are honest and we're scrolling through Instagram or TikTok or Twitter, we're only seeing that content for like maybe 30 seconds, if at all. And so for you to build up that momentum, that relationship, you need to have a lot of content on the screen. And if someone just finds you today, make sure that over the next week or 2 weeks, he sees you 11 times over the 4 platforms. And that's why content strategy is so important, and content planning, because it means how can you stack those things that you can actually make a funnel out of it, that you can make the most sense with it. That is something that we'll dive into the next video. So please subscribe the channel so you're not missing out when we're looking to a simplified funnel to actually cover 7-11-4 in practice, how we can set up the funnel. Until then, get your business going and see you next time.